Your biggest enemy is not the people who wronged you. Your biggest enemy is your ego. If you want to unlock your full potential and achieve everything you ever dreamed of, you must first learn to control your ego. In this video, we will explore 5 life-changing lessons from Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. The lessons from this best-selling book will teach you how to silence your ego and awaken your intuition. Every lesson is vital to master your ego, so make sure you don't skip anyone. You must watch this video till the end, otherwise you will keep falling into the same traps of your ego. When you hear the word ego, you immediately think of arrogance and narcissism. But ego is much more subtle than that. According to Ryan Holiday, the ego is that voice inside you that craves recognition, validation, and approval. Ego convinces you that you're already great and that you don't need to learn or grow. It makes you refuse help, avoid feedback, and dismiss any information that threatens your inflated self-image. You might be wondering, but isn't confidence a good thing? Yes, confidence is good, but there's a big difference between confidence and ego. Confidence is rooted in competence. Confidence comes from knowing that you've put in the hard work and gained enough experience. Ego, on the other hand, is based on delusion. Ego is believing that you're better than you are without putting in enough effort. True confidence comes from humility because you're not afraid to admit your weaknesses, which allows you to work on them. Now let's explore 5 life-changing lessons from this amazing book. Lesson 1. Ego is the enemy of learning. Your ego loves to whisper that you know it all, and that you don't need supervision or guidance. But here's the painful truth: the moment you believe you've arrived, you've already started falling behind. The most successful people know that mastery is a never-ending process. They remain students of life, always curious, always hungry for more knowledge. Take Kobe Bryant, for example. He was one of the greatest basketball players in history, but even after winning championships, he still practiced the fundamentals daily. Why? Because he knew that the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. The ego tells you to get comfortable. But true greatness comes from being humble enough to realize that there's always more to learn. Always approach life with the curiosity of a novice, no matter how experienced you are. In every situation, whether you're starting a new project or having a conversation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? When you're always seeking to learn, you leave less room for ego. Surround yourself with people who are smarter or more experienced than you. It's not always comfortable, but when you're the least knowledgeable person in the room, you're constantly challenged to grow. If you want to keep your ego in check, always seek advice from mentors, peers, and people you trust to give honest opinions. And when you get that feedback, listen without immediately defending yourself. This is where real growth happens, because you're seeing blind spots that your ego would normally ignore. Lesson 2. Ego thrives on validation. Whether it's praise, awards, or public recognition, ego craves the spotlight. But the more you chase validation, the further you drift away from your true purpose. Think about social media for a second. Observe how people get obsessed with likes, followers, and comments. It becomes their measure of success. But in chasing those numbers, they lose sight of why they started creating in the first place. Their ego shifts their focus from the craft to the approval. Ryan Holiday warns that when you're driven by ego and validation, you're no longer working for mastery or growth, you're working for approval. And the thing about approval? It's fleeting. The moment it's gone, you're left feeling empty, chasing the next hit of praise. True success comes when you stop worrying about validation and focus on becoming the best at what you do, regardless of who's watching. Instead of measuring success by likes, followers, or external praise, create internal goals that focus on personal growth and improvement. Ask yourself, am I better today than I was yesterday? This mindset shift ensures you're competing with yourself, not seeking validation from others. Lesson 3. Ego is self-centered. Ego is always asking, what's in it for me? It pushes you to seek personal gain, recognition, and individual success. True fulfillment comes from contributing to something bigger than yourself. When your only focus is personal achievement, the victories can feel hollow. Sure, you might reach a milestone, but after the initial rush, you're left wanting more. That's because the ego's appetite is insatiable. It's never truly satisfied. Serving something bigger than your self-interest keeps your ego in check. Whether it's by helping others, giving back to your community, or dedicating yourself to a global mission. When you work for a cause greater than your personal desires, your ego becomes powerless. And in that process, you find more joy, peace, and purpose than you ever imagined. If you let your ego chase recognition, you'll burn out the moment it doesn't come. But when you're fueled by purpose, you'll be inspired and fulfilled no matter what happens. Lesson 4. Ego distorts reality. Your ego has a way of creating a warped version of the truth. It convinces that all of your successes are solely the result of your efforts, and that your failures? Well, those are always someone else's fault. This kind of thinking is dangerous. It creates blind spots, oversights, and narcissism that can push you to make bad decisions. Ryan Holiday emphasizes that the key to long-term success is staying grounded. You must be willing to strip away the illusions your ego creates and see things objectively. Only then can you adapt, improve, and succeed. Lesson 5. Ego is loud. Silence is stronger than words. Ego pushes you to talk more, assert your opinions, and prove how smart or capable you are to everyone around you. But as Ryan Holiday reminds us, true strength lies in restraint. When you're silent, you're giving yourself space to observe and learn. By choosing to listen instead of always speaking, you allow others to share their insights, ideas, and perspectives. There's an old saying, when you talk, you're only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. This is the symbol of wisdom. Silence shows that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, and that confidence is stronger when it doesn't need constant validation. There you have it. 5 life-changing lessons from Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Your ego could be the very thing that could be holding you back from your greatest potential. By embracing humility, you can defeat your ego and achieve real success. If this video resonated with you, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which lesson you're going to start applying today. Thanks for watching.